Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Today is what day is today? Friday, May 17th. It's about 9:45 a.m. Coming to you in the morning this time. Got a cup of coffee and everything. I thought to myself last night, I was like, you know what? I don't have to record this tomorrow night, or I don't have to record this tonight. I can just do it in the morning. Do it in the morning when everything's nice and easy. And then I wake up and look at my phone, and Scotty Scheffler is getting arrested, and it's just been fun. It's been a fun morning. I don't understand how people don't be on Twitter. I don't get how life is good not on Twitter. People are just like, oh, it's a cesspool. No, it's goddamn hilarious, is what it is. I've seen all the memes about Scotty Scheffler going what was it? Adam Scheffler tweeted, Scotty Scheffler is going to Valhalla, and then a guy retweeted it and said, oh my God, they killed him. That's objectively that's so funny. It's so funny. If you take a takeaway from this is get on Twitter. But anyway, you don't care about that. You don't care about that. We're here. We're here to talk Battlehawks, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We've got a reKAWp. We've got a bird's eye preview. And I don't know. We just got a lot. We got a lot. I guess not. I guess. I always say I guess, but the best place to start with the reKAWp is with AJ McCarron. Trying to think, what's the best way to do this? As far as because that'll go into the bird's eye preview. Let's just talk about his performance. Okay, so he was 19 for 32, 161 yards, one touchdown, one interception, completion percentage of 59%. I did my little thing again. I did my little spray chart again. There are, let's see, how many drops did we account for? So 19 for 32. So that's what's that? 13 misses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 drops. 7 drops from all of that. What is it? 2 of them were in the end zone, and one of them was on a free play. So that's 3 brutal drops. 3 brutal drops, and 2 of them brutal drops were on scoring plays, which is just a tremendous kick in the dick. So yes, you look at the 19 for 32. That's not overwhelmingly. I'm trying to think. Accurate's not the right word. That's not. It doesn't quite give you the whole story here, because then you also have to think about the incompletions that he had after his ankle got fucked, where he's not able to get the zip on the ball and everything like that, which I think might have been. Let's see. Actually, I probably have it written down here. If I go to the bottom of this, I think there was 2. Yeah, there's one to Hakeem Butler, and then the second one. So of his third, and it sounds like I'm making excuses. I'm more trying to come up with give us a reason why these things happen. So say there were 7 drops. Out of 13 incompletions, and then 2 because he physically could not get the ball to people, 2 or 3 because he couldn't get the ball to people. We're talking 3 missed throws, 3 or 4 missed throws, and that's not overwhelmingly bad. I placed this game entirely on the hands of the wide receivers not coming down with the ball. But AJ, he also had the 24 yards of rushing, all which came on one play. Which is good. I guess 2 plays. I think he tried to run for the second to last play of the game, when he went down inbounds, or maybe it's the third to last because he went. Yeah, that was on first down. No, on second down he tried to scramble. Then on third down he spiked it. Then on fourth down he had the incomplete to reKAWp Pearson. So that's where those yards come from. And honestly, I mean that 24-yard scramble looked really good. I don't know if we'll ever see that again, given the circumstances and everything like that. Because even if he does come back, that's him coming back to be able to throw a ball, not him coming back to be able to run the ball. But that's a good. That if that's the end of the AJ McCarron running career, I liked it. That 24-yard little scramble that he had there was pretty cool. I mean, there was just nobody in his zip code, and he just took off for 24 yards. But I liked the way AJ McCarron played for the most part. I mentioned that he had an incompletion on a free play. I didn't like, so the free play is when I think it was a offsides by the defense. I don't think it was a full-on encroachment. But Birmingham jumped off sides, and then AJ did a little like 5 yard thing instead of taking a deep shot. I think that was kind of a little bit of a brain fart there. He had an intentional grounding, which was a very dumb thing. That was actually the play before he had the free shot. It was the same drive as when he got hurt. So I don't know. I don't know. I did like a little bit better, even though he did. I mean, there was, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There was only 8 passes behind the line, at or behind the line of scrimmage this game, which was a good little a good twist. I guess if you want to say twist, it wasn't every single pass behind the line of scrimmage, which is it's a good start moving it forward. But guys, again, just did not catch the ball. But I don't know if it's totally important to focus that much on AJ McCarron for this game, because it certainly seems like he is not going to play this week, given everything. It certainly seems like he's just not gonna. I don't know why I'm saying it certainly seems like that. That's buying into the coach speak, and I ain't gonna do that. But I'll get to what I mean by that later. As far as the receivers go, probably the next best spot to start in this. We know Hakeem Butler had a pretty good game for given everything. He had 10 targets, came down with 7 of them for 89 yards. He had a few really bad drops, and then he had 2 really bad drops, and then one was a ball at the end of the game where AJ couldn't actually get the ball down. Jake Sailors had a really good game this game. Jake Sailors had 20 receiving yards. There were only 2 bad plays to him. One of his incompletes was the very first. So he got 6 targets. He had 4 catches. One of those is the very first play of the game. He got the AJ threw the ball way too far out in front of him, and he couldn't come down with it. And it was behind the line of scrimmage. And honestly, I thought that it was a good idea. That was one I was like, that I don't like a pass behind the line of scrimmage on the very first play of the game. But the way that Birmingham was playing that, they were in zone, they had guys deep. For some reason, they thought that the Battlehawks wouldn't come out with the screen for the first time in the entire season. Whatever, that's dumb on them. But AJ throws it too far ahead of Jacob Sailors, doesn't come down with it. But there's another one where Jake Sailors had a really good route, wide open in the seam, hits him in the hands. I think he turned his head before he actually finished catching the ball, and didn't come down with it. Would have been a huge gain. But other than that, I mean, Jake Sailors, man, can do no wrong in my eyes. And it's probably because I'm biased because of his name. But here, listen, what are you going to do? You're listening to me, and I have my biases, and so do you. Mine are just dumb. Next receiver on the list is Steve Mitchell. And this always seems like this is how this happens, doesn't it? It always seems like I say, man, I like that guy. And then that guy, the next game, absolutely just shits the bed. Because that is exactly what happened with Steve Mitchell. He only caught half of his balls, and I think all 3 misses hit him. It's like, damn it. I give you my stamp of approval for whatever that's worth. And then you say, no, Jake, take your stamp of approval and shove it up your ass, because I'm just gonna sometimes catch the ball half the time. So Stephen Mitchell, real not good game from him. 3 catches on 6 targets for 21 yards. Ja'Cour Pearson had 3 for 9, and Darius Shepard had 2 for 22. I would have liked to see more Darius Shepard. It seemed like they had him in for the full workload and everything, but still, I don't know. But that's it, though. I brought this up on the reaction. AJ only threw the ball to 5 different people, and that is not a winning formula. You got to be able to spread the ball out. If you make yourself yes, the weapons that he has are good. And what's his dick? Marcel Aitman didn't. I don't think he played this game. Certainly didn't log anything. But you still got to be able to spread the ball out a little bit more. And the perfect thing for that is tight ends. The perfect way to do that is with throwing the ball to tight ends. There was one throw to that didn't get logged in the stats. It might have been on a 2-point conversion, or just a play with a penalty. He did throw the ball to a short pass to Jake Sutherland, and Jake Sutherland didn't come down with it. It was a tough catch, though. He would have had to one-hand it, and he's a big white guy, so I don't necessarily believe that he can do that, because we are not talented. Um, I'm not saying I'm big. I'm just saying I'm a white guy, and I can tell you we're not. Um, so that is the receivers. Very very lackluster game when your leading receiver has seven catches for 89 yards. It's like ugh, that's not good. Compare that to what Birmingham had going on, and they had one, two, three, four guys with over 25 yards, five guys with over 20 yards of receiving. It's like, dude, this sucks. It sucks to see. In a vacuum, what the Battlehawks did was bad, and then you compare it to the team that they were playing against, and it was not good either. But the running game is what I want to talk about. The running game, they only had 64 yards of rushing, and 38 of them came from Jake Sailors. The other 24 of them came from AJ McCarron, and 8 of them came from Ja'Cour Pearson. Wayne Gallman had -6. I'm not a Wayne Gallman guy. I'm completely out on him now. But Jake Sailors, 38 yards on 10 carries, averaging 3.8 yards, and then also him catching balls. So he did really good. But it doesn't seem like a lot of yardage, but his success rate was tremendous. The running success rate in this game was 54%. Anything over 50 is above average. They did really good running the ball. He had these short runs. There were some of these drives, specifically when the passing game didn't work, and then that guy on the Stallions botched that punt, muffed the punt. Yeah, muffed the punt. Buffed it. Why do these words all sound wrong? Muffed the punt. Yeah, muffed the punt. He muffed the punt, hit him in the hands, ended up being a fumble. And then the Battlehawks got the ball on the 10-yard line. They just ran the ball. Well, they ended up going for it on fourth. They ran the ball twice with Jake Sailors, got real up close, threw a ball to Hakeem Butler. Hakeem Butler didn't come down with it in the end zone. That was one of his drops. And then they just gave it to Jake Sailors again, and he ran it in. Like, he was very, very, very efficient with his runs. Yes, not a whole lot of yardage, but what he did do with his carries, with the circumstance that he had, man, I just like him. I just like the way that he runs. He's super physical. You see him twisting anytime. So he doesn't like, he'll go down at first contact, but he fights it. He doesn't just like succumb to being like hit and like, that's it. And it's not just him chopping his feet. He like throws his body and everything like that. I just like the way he runs looks good. He's a beautiful runner. It's not like gorgeous. It's just like he's just, I don't know, just very physical and fun. He's a fun watch he's fun to watch when you're watching him run. That's my takeaway with Jake Sailors. I like the way that the running game worked this game. And again, I said this in the reKAWp. Typically, running is not what you can do against this Birmingham defense. And if you're looking to beat them, you got to kind of really throw the ball a whole lot. And that's what the Battlehawks did. But the running game was there. Then turns out if you're running, there's much less of a chance that you're going to drop the ball. So that's my dust sentence of the week. The offensive line, I thought the offensive line played relatively well. They allowed 3 sacks. They allowed some hits on AJ too. I don't know. It wasn't anything spectacular for them. I'm kind of seeing some holes with the way that they're playing, I guess. AJ has to get the ball out real quick, which does not help with the deep shots and everything like that. That's why whenever they have those opportunities, when Hakeem Butler is getting somebody lined up against him in man, they really got to be able to take advantage of that and be able to hold those blocks for Hakeem to get downfield and win his route on the one-on-one. And when they're throwing short passes and everything, it's kind of the team's the actions speak louder than words, that we don't necessarily have a whole lot of faith in this offensive line. But I thought that given the game plan and everything, they did well. It's not their fault that the wide receivers can't catch the ball. And it's not like there was batted passes or anything like that too. I mean, it was just, I think that they played well. It was kind of just an average game for them. That's what I'll say. It was an average game for them. They didn't have one of those games where they were able to dominate at the line of scrimmage and allow the running game to go crazy. Like, the running game was good. They didn't allow it to go crazy. But I don't know. AJ McCarron was that's a good defense that they played against. That's a good defensive line that they played against, and that defensive line really kind of came through for him. which sucks for us because now we're here and yeah, we're 5-2, and it's the first game that we've lost since week 1, but it feels bad. It feels bad to think that your team is that good and then just have them have them lose in the way that they did. It's like it's just an unsettling feeling. That's what it is. It's just an unsettling feeling. Like they lose in week 1, it's a 64-yard field goal. Yeah, Beck did some dumb stuff that allowed that to happen. But a 64-yard field goal with a guy you don't know who's going to be able to kick 64 yards, that hurts, but it doesn't sting as much as this one does. What the hell was I talking about? Why did I start talking about that? I was talking about the offensive line. I'm sure I had a point there. I don't know. It's early for me. I don't normally wake up this early or talk this early. I did my Wordle and I got it in 4. I don't know. It was a dumb word. I'll say that. It was a dumb word, which, given the word that it is kind of ironic. But I did my Wordle. I did my my mini. I did my connections. I don't like the connections. Anyway, get back to Battlehawks. Going on to defense now. The defense, I blame scheme. I said this before. I kind of blame the scheme with this. I thought that players played well. I thought Quinterio Cole actually had a pretty good game. There's a chance that some plays he was kind of the QB spy, but he's a safety, and he's really aggressive. So he would come up for a lot of things. Like in that first drive where they had the 3 and out for they forced the Stallions to have a 3 and out. He came up and made some plays and stopped the run. I don't have a problem with the way that he played. I don't necessarily know if I have a problem with the way that the defense played, given what they were told to do. The slants were working. If you're wondering why they were able to get all this short shit, Birmingham was able to get all this short shit that exploded into big stuff. The way that the defense is being called is that it had the motion was absolutely killing the linebackers. The motion. Birmingham was using motion to take linebackers out of position, out of the middle of the field and everything like that, which sucks. But then also when they would drop into coverage, the linebackers drop into coverage, they would drop into coverage and they would just evacuate the middle of the field kind of by themselves, which left those open slants on that 40-yard touchdown by that Kevin Benjamin guy. Is that his name? Kevin Austin. That number 80 for Birmingham. Gregg Williams, who had a really bad game, ended up running into, I believe it was that Brandon Sebastian? I don't know if it was Brandon. He ended up running into the corner that was lined up in man with the with that Kevin Austin and took him out, and then he was able to just run by everybody. So it's kind of dumb stuff like that. The corners were playing really soft on guys, trying not to give up the big things. But then because they weren't giving up the big things, which they ended up giving up the big things because of Yak. The Stallions had 121 yards Yak, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but kind of when it came was the crushing part of it. They were lining up real deep. Yeah, you're not letting them get behind you or anything like that for the most part. But I don't know. It was just kind of. I didn't like the way that they were being asked to play. Execution wise, whenever they had trouble covering their tight ends, and then they had trouble covering the slants. I think they did do a little bit. The defense as a whole did a little bit of adjustments, maybe over adjusted to slants, because then all of a sudden, about halfway through the third quarter, everything on the outside started to become open, and it's like, God damn, dude, there's different ways that we could do this. We don't have to sell out on every single thing. I understand wanting to sell out, but it just wasn't working. They're calling the wrong things at the wrong times, and Birmingham was able to capitalize on all that. It was ugly. Willie Harvey did really good at the beginning of the game. There was a drive where he had 2 consecutive sacks, or not 2 consecutive sacks. He had 2 sacks in the same drive. That was really good. Peter Taumoipenu and Travis Feeney and the edge rushing gang Man, they were alive, but then they just really kind of went to sleep. Peter Tamuipenu and this is my yearly reminder that not all sacks are created equal. Not all sacks are created equal. When Willie Harvey's getting in there and having a late blitz, and just untouched and just smokes Adrian Martinez, that's one kind of sack. And then there's that first drive where Peter Tamuipenu bends around the end and like gets a fingertip on Adrian Martinez, and then Adrian Martinez just falls down. Not all sacks are created equal. Not all sacks are won. Sometimes sacks happen, but that was an ugly one. It's still a sack, good for your numbers and everything like that. But whenever you look back at the numbers and you're like, oh my God, Peter Tamuipenu had 8 sacks this season. You're just like, well, yes, most of them were good. Most of Peter Tamuipenu's sacks were good, but not every single sack is created equal. They are separate but equal. That I shouldn't have made that joke, but I did, and I don't edit these. If I did edit them, probably take that one out. But that's where we're at. But yeah, reKAWp Williams, really uninspired by him. I thought that he was going to play better. I don't know why I thought he was going to play better. He definitely, I liked the way that he had played given the small amount of snaps that he had before. But it turns out when he had the whole workload, they kind of just exposed him. I mean, that's what it is. When you see the middle of a field get exposed the way that Birmingham did it, that's on the linebackers. Now, we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what the scheme was, but it certainly seemed like this was a scheme thing that kind of put them in bad position. The defensive backs, I brought that up. I guess I should bring up okay, so this kind of goes into the coaching point too, but the play where that Becht did end up challenging with the 2 players that had a pass interference, which one was reKAWp Williams, and I think the other one, can't remember who the other guy was. It might have been Brandon Sebastian. Yeah, it was Brandon Sebastian. That was an emotional challenge by Anthony Becht, because that was not a scoring play. That ended up being just a 15-yard penalty, which makes the challenge so much dumber. Like when Skip Holtz did the challenge for the other pass interference to get a pass interference before, that was a scoring play essentially. And I don't like using essentially because nothing's guaranteed in this league, in any league. But that one was a scoring play. This one was not a scoring play that Anthony Becht challenged on. Initially, I thought it was, but when I went back and watched, I was like, wait a minute, why did the ball only go 15 yards up and not onto the 2-yard line? I thought that was really dumb. But the pass interference was dumb in and of itself because the ball was arguably uncatchable, which is what Becht did challenge. And when I say arguably, I mean it's literally arguably. He did argue that. I don't agree with the argument, but that's a literal argument. But yeah, I wrote here, man, reKAWp Williams just had a bad game. I remember writing his name down so many times. reKAWp Williams misses an open field tackle for a loss, and the run ends up being a first down. Man, ugly game by him. Trying to see if I have any more linebacker things. reKAWp Williams misses a tackle with a bad angle. reKAWp Williams runs into a corner in coverage. Oh man, I don't know. It was an ugly game on defense, and it sucks because that was a really good team, and it'd have been nice to see him at least do more than just like one drive at the beginning of the game. But that's where we're at. As far as special teams goes, again, Andre Schmidt, 61 yards. Fucking rock and roll, dude. That's awesome. To be able to do that, that's great. That's great. I don't know. It's great to just know that that's in the bag. And that was in an outdoor stadium, too. Like, hell yeah. He should be able to do that kind of a thing in a dome, which is great. It's just good to know that you have that option. Not like next time he lines up for like a 60-yard field goal, we're not going to be like, ooh, I hope he can do it. It's like, man, this guy can't because he pissed on that ball. He did a low drive. Oof. Beautiful kick. We had Chris Garrett with the block punt. Again, that's a second block punt. That guy, he just hates punts. Chris Garrett hates punts. If you're thinking you're gonna punt and then you see what's his name, number 48, on the field, you got to be like, oh, fuck, that guy hates it when we do this. He's probably going to stop us from doing this. We probably ought to put 2 people on him. Like that's Chris Garrett. You see a number 4-8 on the field at the same time as your punter. You got to be clinching your butthole because that guy fucking hates you for your choice. So yeah, great for Chris Garrett. Darius Shepard, 121 kick return yards. There was one punt return that he wasn't in on. I do remember Blake Jackson went in, and that was kind of scary. It's like, God, I hope we don't have another situation with Darius Shepard being out, but I don't think he is. I don't know what. Maybe he was just tired or something. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that is the Bird's Eye preview. Time for some awards. First award we're going to do, as always, the reKAWp of the week. reKAWp of the week goes to the player who did the best. Again, don't give it to quarterbacks for doing quarterback things, because then it would always be AJ McCarron. I might do that next week. We'll get into that. But reKAWp of the week. So it's between Jake Sailors and Andre Schmidt, honestly. It's between those. I think I got to go Andre Schmidt because 61 yards, it's nuts, dude. That's nuts. Everybody's tugging off Jake Bates, rightfully so, because the guy's hit like 3 60-yard field goals this year. So rightfully so, tug him. He deserves to be tugged. But Andre Schmidt, that's crazy. 61 yards is crazy. Outdoors, that's nuts. I believe did this last weekend, Jake Bates just kicked his first long outdoor field goal against DC. So I mean, anyway, I'm not talking about Jake Bates in an Andre Schmidt conversation. Andre Schmidt gets reKAWp of the week. Jake Sailors did really good. I really like the way that he played. But 61 yards is just a tough thing you can't go up against 61 yards and expect to win. Like, yes, good running game, but at 61 yards is like if Hakeem Butler had 200 yards. I like Andre Schmidt. reKAWp of the week to you. Contact me. We'll get you a piece of notebook paper that says reKAWp on it. Now you could frame that if you wanted to. The of the week. Of the week this week is going to end up having to go to Gregg Williams. He was put in a bad spot because Mike Rose is out, but he fumbled the bag too many times. The running into Brennan Sebastian on that play was not good. Let up a touchdown. I don't know. I think the of the week has to go to Gregg Williams or to it's going to Gregg Williams. Of the week's going to Gregg Williams. I just saw too many things where he was out of position and not making tackles, fucking up his own team, that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, Gregg Williams, of the week is going to you. Well, this almost seems fruitless, this next award. Like, we already know who this is going to. The donkey kick of the week, that's going to Andre Schmidt. That's going, like, not every time does the donkey kick of the week go to the reKAWp of the week winner, but this one it is. He's doubling up on him. He's doubling up on the awards. Donkey kick of the week goes to Andre Schmidt because Ramez Ahmed kicked the Birmingham guy, missed one from 41, good from 27. That's what I say to you, Ramez Ahmed. You on the same field as Andre Schmidt, you better fucking come correct. Missing one from 41. Andre Schmidt would never. Andre Schmidt has. There was no hot mics. Coward of the week goes to Fox once again. Fox for the broadcast is so hard to listen to. Like, I like Joel Klatt. I like what the hell was the other guy's name? I like the two announcers, but so I guess what it is with those is that the like with the announcing, they have the one guy on the sidelines in the stadium, but then they have the two, like the play-by-play and the color commentator. They have him in, like, they have those guys in a truck, and their microphones are just so clear. and then mix that with the amount of censoring that Fox does during the games. It's just unlistenable, man. It's just unlistenable. It's so difficult to like hear it and be like it just puts off bad vibes. But anyway, Fox gets kicked out of the week again for censoring all the good stuff. That being said, new award is the shut up asshole. This one goes to the guy, like, they were talking and you're just like, ugh, shut up, asshole. Like, whenever you listen, you're like, ugh, this guy's an asshole. Shut up. Shut up, asshole of the week goes to both Skip Holtz and Adrian Martinez, because they're standing on the sidelines being like cordial, not even cordial. They were like being chipper. They were like, oh, you'll see this. Oh, I'm just trying to coach you. I'm not mad at you. Oh, I'm not mad. It's like, no, shut up, asshole. So that's a new award. A shut up, asshole of the week goes to both Adrian Martinez and Skip Holtz, because it's just like watching them be happy, and I'm like watching my team like struggle through and through, and they're just like smiling and just like just joshing, just like punching each other, and they're just like, you guys, it's like you just looking at me like, you couple of assholes. Why don't you shut up? So shut up asshole of the week goes to those two. And that is the reKAWp. I made a mistake on my computer. I opened up the camera app again, and every time that I do this, it ends up like stopping to record whenever I go to a new window. So there's a chance that when I pull up the stuff for the bird's eye preview, it kills this video, and I'm gonna end up having to do two things. I'm not gonna re-record the reKAWp. But if this does close it out, I'm just gonna do two videos. One will be the reKAWp, one will be the bird's eye preview. Let's see how this goes. I think it worked. I think I'm still in business. Okay. Okay. Bird's eye preview. My coffee is cold now. That's gross. I'm gonna still continue to drink it, but I'm just not gonna enjoy it. All right, bird's eye preview. For week 8 of the UFL season, your St. Louis Battlehawks are playing at home against the DC Defenders on Sunday, May 19th at 11 a.m. Very early start time. Don't like it. There are 2 games on Sunday. There's this one, and then the Renegades of Brahmas, who are playing at 3. Give us that one. Let the Brahmas have the early one. Give us the late one. Nobody wants to get down and tailgate at that early, man. Well, we can get down and tailgate that early, but it's just not enough time. Like, I got a buddy who's runs the Steve's Hot Dogs thing at the stadium, and he has to get there at like 6:30. It's like, Jeff, I feel sorry for you, man. Like, it sucks. And people are tailgating. A bartender at the Funny Bones, like, I gotta like get down early, and we're gonna tailgate with breakfast. It's like, that's good. I'm happy that you're able to do that, but just like, that's too damn early. So anyway, Battlehawks playing 11 a.m. on Sunday. Okay. Best way to start with this, I believe, is with injuries, is how I'm going to do it. So, as far as people who are just straight up and out for the Battlehawks, unfortunately, Brendan Sebastian went on the IR with a hand thing. He's having surgery. Brendan Sebastian, number 38, defensive back. He's just out, man. He's just out for the rest of the season. It felt like he played that entire game. I never saw him like truly leave. I mean, and a hand thing wouldn't necessarily make you leave, but he's got to get surgery, and now he's just done, which is just a huge kick in the dick. Flip side of that, AJ McCarron not on the IR, which is a good thing. That's a great thing. Mike Rose not on the IR. Now we get to the practice reports for the Battlehawks for this week. Mike Rose actually practiced in full yesterday, so I was totally wrong about the Mike Rose thing being we're not going to see him till, if we do see him again, it's not going to be till way late. He missed 2 games, or was it just 1 game? Yeah, he missed just 1 game. He's back. It was a left ankle. He's practicing in full. Jared Jones-Smith, the tackle, on Thursday he was limited. Limited means you just didn't practice the complete practice. If you practiced full, you practiced 100% of the practice. If you practiced 0, you did not practice. If you're limited, you could have practiced for 1% of it or 99% of it. It's so vague. We don't know what limited means, but still, that sucks. Jaron Jones-Smith is limited on Thursday. Hopefully he plays. Like I said, Brandon Sebastian is out. A.J. McCarron was limited on Wednesday, did not practice on Thursday. A.J. McCarron, the whole thing with him, Anthony Becht has been like, he's day-to-day, which this is all just competitive advantage bullshit. Like, you're just not going to tell people what you're doing. That'd be really stupid. You got to make the other team at least think that there's a possibility that A.J., like a non-zero chance that A.J. McCarron could play. That way they have to prepare for him. So what that means is that we are now looking at a what's his name? Manny Wilkins. We're looking at a Manny Wilkins or a Brandon Silver. I went back and I watched Manny Wilkins. They say that it could be. They say that it's going to. Beck said, I should say this first. Beck said that it's going to be all hands on deck, which he's implying that it's going to be both Manny Wilkins and Brandon Silver. Side note: Battlehawks also did sign a guy named Drew Plitt, quarterback from. Drew Plitt is from Ball State. I knew the name sounded familiar. Which I know that sounds like a joke, but watching SEMO games, Drew Plitt actually does sound familiar. They did not sign a cornerback, which is kind of a weird thing. But so they signed a quarterback. You learn from teams' actions, not just what they say. If they sign another quarterback, that means AJ is not going to play this game. So it's going to be Manny Wilkins and Brandon Silver. That's what they say. I believe. I don't like the idea of doing two quarterbacks, but based on what we just saw from the Defenders last week, where they lost 22-9 to the Panthers were running out their third and fourth string quarterback. They like alternated series with them, and they had a really hard trouble dealing with that. That being said, those two quarterbacks play the same type of game. Manny Wilkins and Brandon Silver do not. Brandon Silver is diet. A.J. McCarron. Same kind of playing style. Not a scrambler, just a big guy in the pocket. That's what Brandon Silver is. Has an arm. He's fine. There's a reason he's number 3 on this roster. He has starting experience, which is good. But Manny Wilkins is who I expect to see more out of. Manny Wilkins, completely opposite. We saw him last time that Battlehawks played the Defenders. The guy wants to run. The guy really wants to run, and he's been on this team for 2 years, so he knows this system. I went back and I watched some Manny Wilkins, and that guy loves to run it himself. He loves to run it himself, and he's fun when he runs it himself. It's a little bit scary at times because he likes to jump over guys. They're going to say it probably 3 or 4 times during the broadcast that I believe in 2019 or 2018 he was the leading rusher in the Pac-12. So that's good. I mean, the guy wants to run. The guy can run, and good thing that's all a quarterback does is just run the ball, and that there's not an entire other aspect of the game that a quarterback has to do, like throwing it, because he's not good at that one. He'll dump off the ball. He'll take short throws. He can hit a short throw. Not always perfectly, but he can hit a short throw, which is good because that's how this offense kind of runs. I don't expect for them. It would be very cool if they did have some kind of RPO stuff, but that's not how this offense is. This offense is like a modified West Coast thing where they throw the ball first in order to be able to run the ball. That's how they do it. That's how this offense does things, because that's how A.J. McCarron works in this offense, and that they built an offense that works around A.J. McCarron. Manny Wilkins is an entirely different monster. He is much more of a running guy, as I said. Not a beautiful ball. He misses guys high. He misses guys low. He can zip it. It's just not always accurate. Very curious to see how that's going to work. Very curious to see if this offense does some things to make that work for him. They really do have the opportunity to have a really good running game here on Sunday. They have a great opportunity for that. I just don't know how much they're going to adjust a offense for 1 week against a team that's really sucks. But that'll be interesting. That'll be very interesting. I think that it will be fun to watch Manny Wilkins. I know sometimes with AJ and all of these all these passes and everything, it can get a little bit monotonous. Manny Wilkins, this is what I'll say. This is what I thought when I was watching. A.J. McCarron has explosive passes. Manny Wilkins has electrifying runs. You know what I mean by that. They're totally different. They're fun to watch when they both are able to do what they do to like kind of the best of their ability. They're a lot of fun to watch. But the difference between the explosive bomb and a guy that can be electric on his feet, you understand what I'm saying, that there's a difference there. I'm hoping that we get a lot of electrifying Manny Wilkins. I hope that we don't see a whole lot of Brandon Silver, but I imagine that we will see some of him. But that's kind of where we're at with the Battlehawks offensive or quarterback. As far as injuries go for the defenders, all right. So Jordan Ta'amu, okay, we know Jordan Ta'amu. Jordan Ta'amu sucks this year. Jordan Ta'amu goes down with a concussion last game. Gets absolutely steamrolled. Goes down with a concussion. He has been limited in practice both days this week. In comes this guy, DeAndre Francois. He's their second string. He goes down with an ankle thing 2 plays in. So they're down to the defenders are down to their third QB, guy named Jalen McClendon. Jalen McClendon might sound familiar. I believe he was not wide receiver, a quarterback for the Vipers last year. Jalen McClendon is number 17. He's just a huge dude. He's like he's 6'5". The guy is huge. He's a huge man. Great big guy. Notes on him is that he's got good pocket presence. He's not accurate. He can rip the ball. And it looks good, but he's just not accurate. And then he's also kind of dumb. The last play of the game, it was a 4th and 17, and then he slid probably 10 yards short of the line to get. I don't know. When we're talking about third-string quarterbacks, yeah, there's not a lot of tape on them, and they have the potential to be good because you don't know what to expect out of them. But watching him, man, it's uninspiring. And that's kind of how I describe this entire Defenders offense is. Just kind of a recap before I get into all this. Last time the Defenders played the Battlehawks, this was 3 weeks ago. This is when the Battlehawks put up 45 points. Defenders had 12 points. The Battlehawks, sorry, I'm about ready to cough. Battlehawks were 2 for 11 on third downs, which it turns out that's kind of accurate to how the season has been going. They were 4 for 8 in the red zone. But they had the ball on the defender side of the field 10 times. They started drives, and they started with short field a whole bunch of times. Turns out you're going to be able to win games like that. So, yes, they put up a shitload of points, but not a sustainable thing, as we have learned. The defenders were not able to do anything on offense. They had 163 total yards. The defense played out of their goddamn minds that game. They had the 6 turnovers and then 2 block punts that game. One of them was Chris Garrett. So that just as a reminder, that's how this game went. The Battlehawks dominated the defenders. That ain't gonna happen. Oh, and that was also the game where there was a whole bunch of injuries on the offensive line. So if Jared Jones-Smith doesn't play, we have backups who do have starting experience. So that's kind of just a reminder how this entire thing went before. Defenders last game, they got absolutely whomped. They did a whole bunch of nothing. They had 235 yards on offense, but none of it came easy. Their biggest play that they had was a 28-yard a 28-yard run by a wide receiver. Oh, that was the other thing as far as injuries go. Their best wide receiver, Kelvin Harmon, done for the season. Had a hamstring thing. So now they are short-staffed or short-handed on quarterback, short-handed on wide receiver. Their injuries are piling up. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys that are on their injury practice report thing. Their quarterback, they have a tackle who didn't practice. They've got a few guys that were limited, including their best edge rusher, Derek Robertson, Roberson, Kiki Cutie, their wide receiver is limited. They're fucked up, is what it is. That's their whole thing is that they're fucked up. They got fucked up in this game. They couldn't get anything going. They don't have any semblance of an identity on offense. They would like to run the ball, but they're bad at it. They have a terrible offensive line. That's kind of what we're looking at with this team. The other thing about this is that this is going to be the Battlehawks' first time that they've played a team twice. So it's going to be very curious to see how we how we kind of adjust to what we saw last time. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to see from DC on offense last time, and how DC adjusts to what the Battlehawks do on defense this time. It's just kind of a particular peculiar thing. I don't expect for it to be a 45-12 blowout like it was before. I just don't, that's not in the cards, because that's an anomaly. That's been the biggest win in the UFL this entire season. Let me see if I can pull this up. Make sure I can get you guys where the defenders' offense and defense kind of ranks. Passing, they are the second worst passing offense, and rushing, they are the third worst rushing offense. They're just really not good, just all around. They're right in the middle as far as passing defenses goes. And then as far as rushing defenses goes, they're worst in the league. They allow the most rushing yards because their defensive line absolutely sucks too. So on offense, this team, they just can't do anything. They just can't. They don't do anything. They get behind. They can't run the ball. They can't throw the ball with any type of regularity. They have a good tight end still, kinda. But it just does. When I'm watching this game, I'm not looking at it be like, how do you stop this offense? The offense just sucks. Their offense is bad. Long gone are the days of yesteryear, where the defenders were dominant on offense. They're just gone. One of my notes before Jordan Ta'amu got hurt, I just said Ta'amu just sucks now, I guess. They want to establish the run, but they haven't been able to do that all except for one game where they did that. I don't know. Their offense is bad. Our defense is better than our offense is. Our defense is going to be able to have a good time, I believe, against this team. As far as our offense against their defense, like I said, their defensive line sucks. They have two good players on their defense. Number 7, Bellamy, and then number 15, Michael Joseph, is good. Those are the only two good guys on their defense. They had a linebacker, Francis Bernard, number 43. He's one of the guys that's on the injury report, but he sucks. I don't know. I'm one thing that I saw what Michigan did to this DC, and I think it could be fun because I've been clamoring for this all season, is using the tight ends in the passing game. And one thing that I saw what Michigan did was they had these QBs that could use their legs, and their running QBs had a lot of success, which is, again, another reason why I think that Manny Wilkins is going to be able to kind of be electric here. But they were having their QBs kind of like bootleg out and then hit tight ends on short throws. And I'm kind of hoping that we get a little bit of that. I know it's not what this offense seems like it wants to do for some reason, what the Battlehawks offense seems like it wants to do for some reason, but I think if they do that, it could be pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to that. They're going to try to force Manny Wilkins to run, because like I said, Manny Wilkins, the DC is going to try to force Manny Wilkins to run, because we don't know about Manny Wilkins, like how good his passing game is. Maybe he learned some stuff from being in a locker room with AJ for 2 years. I don't know. The other side of that is that Manny Wilkins has also been practicing against this first string defense, so maybe he's gotten better that way too. But they're going to try to force Manny Wilkins to throw the ball. That's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to take away the run and everything like that. They're going to try to force Manny Wilkins to run the ball. I don't think that they're going to be able to do a good job because, like I said, their defensive line is porous and terrible. They have very bad tackling, like from mechanics to just putting themselves in position to make tackles. Gregg Williams, the Dr. Heat, he's still their DC. He's still a goddamn lunatic, and he's still an asshole. And he still just yells at everybody all the time. And he's still, every single time they interview him on the sideline, he just, the first words that come out of his mouth is Buddy Ryan. It's like, quit sucking off Buddy Ryan. But you don't have to. We get it, Greg. We get it. You worked under Buddy Ryan. You quit tugging him. What are you doing, you weirdo? But the Gregg Williams is still stupid and does all these weird pressures and stuff like that. And I'm sure that they will get home to Manny Wilkins a few times because he definitely hasn't seen anything like that before. But the offense needs to be able to use motion in order to kind of expose that defense, find out exactly what they're doing, what the pressures are coming from. There's ways that the scheme for this offense can help out Manny Wilkins. And then the wide receivers also have to help out Manny Wilkins by catching the balls that get thrown to them. But like I said, DC's biggest thing is that they're going to try to force Manny Wilkins to throw. And when he does throw, they need to be able to actually complete that stuff. What else do I have? I said the motion thing. I said wide receivers need to help. Interior defensive line is dog shit. I believe that this game is going to be won by the offensive line if they can just deplatform and just knock that defensive line off of the ground and get that running game going. Make Jake Sailors have a good game. I think that's going to be killer. I believe that this game is going to be won by the offensive line. That's where I see that this game is going to go. Like I said, if the defenders are looking to make sure that Manny Wilkins has to throw the ball, the offensive line needs to be able to protect and actually make it so that that DC can't do that. Make the run game work. So I think that this game is going to be won by this offensive line. Again, I have no problem with this defense against this team. The defense went up against a really hard team last week, and they got fucked up. This is going to be a breath of fresh air, a real get-right game. I believe another key to this game for the Battlehawks offense is going to be winning on first downs. A good way to force a quarterback to throw is to get them behind schedule. If they can get 4 yards or more on a first down, I think that they're not going to get behind schedule, and it won't force the ball into Manny Wilkins' hands on third downs. So winning on first downs is going to be a big key thing here. I don't know. I think that DC's ready to give up. That's kind of the point of this game. This is do or die for DC. If they lose here, they're out. That's just it. If they lose here, they're done. So that's what they're playing for now. It's not a pride thing. They're still playing to make it into the postseason. They are 3-4 right now, so every game for them, the next 3 games are all do or die for them, and this is the first one. It's best to just kill them now. And a good way to do that is winning on first downs, extending drives, which I think that's a thing. Like I said, AJ's an explosive play guy. Manny Wilkins is electric. If he can just extend these drives, make these drives long things that aren't predicated or punctuated on just buying time for that explosive play, I think that we can that we can extend these drives and wear down DC, make them lose the will to live, to fight, to whatever, to even want to be on the field. So that's where I'm kind of at with this. I believe that I covered everything that I wanted to. I covered the offense. I covered the defense. I covered the injuries. I think that's it. I think I did it. I think that is the end of this reKAWp. Yeah, it's about 53 minutes, and that's just about how long it takes for me to be able to do all this stuff. Thank you guys very much for watching Solid. I appreciate you. The Battlehawks are playing, like I said, on Sunday at 11 a.m., way too early. My prediction. I didn't do my prediction. My prediction for this game, I don't think that the Battlehawks are going to put up 30. I don't think they're going to put up 30. I shouldn't put a thing in my mouth while I'm talking. I don't think that they're going to put up 30, but I do think that this offense will still be able to move without AJ because they do have some good weapons, and I've seen DC get just absolutely murdered by running quarterbacks. So I'm gonna say this game is a 20. Let's do a weird number because that's how this league goes. Let's do a 29 to 19. The Battlehawks win 29-19. The Battlehawks are currently 7.5 point favorites. The over/under is 44.5 or something like that. So 29-19. Yeah, that'll get you the over. but yeah, 29-19. That's what I'm going with for this. Your Battlehawks are going to progress to, what would that make them? 6-2, making it so that they are just in a win one of the next two games situation, in order to get that number one seed. Hopefully, potentially, I'm not entirely sure. I need to look at what the Brahmas have going on, because they're the other team that are battling us for that number one seed. But yeah, 29-19. That's a dumb score. That's a fun score. It's going to be at home, and Jalen McClendon didn't even bring up that. Can Jalen McClendon handle a loud crowd? If he played in what's it called, in Las Vegas last year, it was in a fucking minor league baseball stadium, is what that was. I don't think he's going to be able to handle the pressure of a loud crowd. So that's what I'm going with. 29-19. Defense is going to be able to have their way with DC. And if Jalen McClendon doesn't start and they put Jordan Ta'amu back out there, that's even better, because Jordan Ta'amu, again, sucks. Their offensive line is just allowing people to go through and just absolutely blast their quarterbacks. It's very funny. It's maybe not fun. No, it's funny. It's funny. Like they just get smashed all the time, constantly, just getting absolutely dominated, and keeps hurting their quarterbacks. They're really bad. So that's where we're at. Okay, 29-19. This has been solid. The game is at 11 a.m. on Sunday. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with me on this Friday morning, or whenever the hell you're listening to this. I will talk to you later after the game. Go Battlehawks. Go Birds. Let's get right. Let's get right. Let's get that bad taste out of our mouth. Let's get right. Okay, let's just do that. Go Battlehawks, go Birds, go Iron Birds, cause the law. Listen, if you're just out and about, if you're just road raging or something like that, you're just driving down the highway, you give somebody the finger, that's also a go Battlehawks thing. Just give everybody the finger, and they'll be like, oh, that guy's just a Battlehawks guy. But that's where we're at. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.